All right, let's talk about Trey Lance. I've been very positive about Trey Lance, but let's be honest with what we saw the first two preseason games. In the first preseason game, he threw too hard on the underneath stuff. Like he threw short passes too hard. The arm strength was really
Hmm.
impressive on the 80-yard touchdown run, but he didn't need to do that. He didn't need to throw every pass like that. And then in this game, I thought he did the same thing. He settled down with his final 9 throws, but even a lot of his completions were freaking rockets. That Trent Sherfield made a nice double catch, or Sanu, Benjamin made a nice catch. Those are missiles, and I'm a little concerned given the fact that Nick Mullins never really improved. CJ Beathard never really improved. Jimmy has plateaued. We anticipated a lot of improvement for Trey Lance because he's young and this is a good system and it's a good coach. But I don't know. Have you seen? Are you concerned about how much, if whether he can reach his potential here?
I'm not concerned at all because I do want to bring up one thing because we talked about this briefly, just maybe a couple minutes on the phone as a possible topic we could do and all of that. And I didn't remember this when we talked about it. He did have one throw with phenomenal touch, and that was the whole shot against cover two to Trent Sherfield that he
Mm,
dropped that down the pipe. That was a beauty,
that's
and
true.
that ball had a ton of touch. So, like, I do think if we're going to evaluate, just 14 throws and say all of them were hard. That one throw, 1 out of 14, is almost 7-8% of his throws so far. So we do have to acknowledge that. I would say so. That
Good
did
call.
have
That was a good throw.
good
Yeah.
touch. But what I'm gonna say about his improvement is I'm not concerned because you talked about the improvement. I do think there's ways he can improve without necessarily reaching his full potential as a drop back passer, right? The idea that
Yeah.
makes Trey Lance so intriguing, and I think you know, I tweeted about this because a lot of people were really upset after the 1 out of 6 start with the one interception. Like, after, especially given how Justin Fields has looked, given how Mac Jones has looked, given how Zach Wilson has looked. Those three guys have looked absolutely terrific. They look like veterans in this preseason with the confidence, the decisiveness, and the accuracy that they're playing with. Um, the one thing that I tweeted out was that the Niners' current offense that they've been running with Trey Lance is not the offense we're going to see him in. And part of the reason they drafted him is because he's a phenomenal runner and he's unbelievable in play action. I mean, the little we've been able to see of him in play action, even in this preseason, we can already see how natural it is for him. Whether it was the rolling out to his left, the bootleg to Richie James, talk about a ball that had great touch rolling out to
Yeah.
his left. That was a pillow softball. So there's one more. That's 2 for 14. And then, of course, he did throw a rocket to Richie James, maybe a couple throws before that went through his hands, and people were getting mad at Richie James, but he has no chance of catching that ball. Trey Lance is literally 2 yards, like 4 yards away from him, and it's just throwing that ball 100 miles an hour. That's an impossible catch. But I've been kind of scattered around. Going back to whether he can improve, apologies. What I was gonna say is I think the ultimate thing is it goes back to the offense they're gonna use him in, right? They're gonna really highlight his running ability and they're gonna really highlight him in play action. And as long as they're able to do those things, I think he can get better even doing those things. Like, I think his accuracy in play action, even though it's already quite good, it can get even better. And I think as a runner, he can get even more comfortable. He can get stronger, more explosive as an athlete because he's just 20 years old or 21 years old. So I think there are ways he can improve, excuse me. I'm not 100% sure if I can hedge my bet here that he will fully improve as a drop back passer. But I wouldn't isolate that situation just to the 49ers and Shanahan, because one of the reasons I wasn't 100% in on Trey Lance before the draft is because I wasn't sure he could fully reach his potential as a drop back passer before the draft.
Yeah. Okay. I still feel that although he did show the touch on the roll to the left and the whole shot against cover two, he doesn't need to throw the quick slant throws that hard all the time. And I think the Niners need to be working on that with
Mm-hmm.
him. That's one thing that I'd like to see improvement from him. I think it's an easy fix or a simple fix or something that they need to address because it's important. So that's one thing. But then that's all going to go into whether he becomes a quarterback who's worthy of the number 3 pick, who's worthy of being drafted ahead of Justin Fields,
Right.
because Justin Fields doesn't have these issues right now. He looks good. So all I'm saying is I like Trey Lance. I like to me right now, he's a top five arm. He's a top five arm strength. He's top five in arm strength in the league right now. In terms of quarterbacks who can run zone read, quarterback design runs, I think he's top five right now, although he hasn't played a game. I think that's his skill set. And then when you add in the ability to throw on the run to anywhere in the field, that makes him really a unique player. The only guys who can do all those
Right.
things to me are him, Justin Fields, Kyler Murray. And you can win a lot of games with those guys on rookie wage scales. Trey Lance is 28th in QB cap hit right now. Thing is, for them to be worth the second contract, you can't run the zone read all the time if you're getting $40 million a year. You got to transition into
Right.
being Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if Lance will ever do that, but what they're going to do with him, the way they're going to use him in the zone read, he'll be really successful. He'll be good enough from the pocket.
Yeah. I mean, we are 2 preseason games into his career and about 20 practices. So, I mean, to be fair, you've seen a lot more of him than me, so you can form a little more of an opinion with a little more conviction.
Well, arm strength is velocity.
I mean, I've seen 28 throws. Right. But I'm saying in terms of his ability to improve and project, I cannot even say that at this exact moment just because I look at Carson, right? We thought Hall of Fame trajectory after 2 years. Nobody expected this regression. So I just think a larger sample size is definitely needed to project Trey Lance, especially given that we had no sample size in college. And then there was one article written by Eric Branch earlier in the summer, and he was talking about Trey Lance. Apparently, he didn't have a lot of throws in high school either. I'm interested to see because he's really intriguing because, again, his traits are unbelievable. It's just will he reach all of them?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I love his particular skill set. To me, it's the one you want. It's Michael Vick's skill set. It's Colin Kaepernick's skill set. And you'd be like, well, they never developed into great quarterbacks. You don't have to. You on this rookie wage scale, if you're getting $6 million a year and you can run the zone read, plus you can get outside the pocket and challenge every single level of the field with your arm, you can do a lot of damage. It's the issue is, can you become the guy who doesn't run the zone read and make a lot of money? I don't even want that guy. Those guys are too expensive. I just want an endless supply of these kind of quarterbacks. You know, that's how I've been trending. That's my philosophy on football. If you're going to get cheap quarterbacks, they have to run the zone read. That's part of it. And I like that these guys can run the zone read and they can throw deep and they can throw on the run. I think it's a very, very potent combination. And whether or not Trey Lance can evolve past it, that's a different issue that may not even be relevant because you could trade him at the end of this rookie deal for another guy just like him. I mean, Justin Fields just went 11th in the draft. You can get guys like this. That's what college produces, in my opinion.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Derek says, do you think we can package something for an offensive? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Do you think we can package something for an offensive tackle trade? If so, who and trade who?
Do you think so?
I don't think they can get an offensive tackle anytime soon. I think they got to ride with Jalen Moore. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't know who would be available. I mean, Orlando Brown was available earlier in the season. We saw he went for it. That was a massive contract bit for the system, obviously. So maybe the biggest.
I'm losing you. Losing him. Oh. He gone. We'll see if he comes back. All right, let's move on. This is something I was talking about, and we'll save it for a second. Something that's worrying me a bit is there were a lot of plays where Trey could have ran for a first down or a big game but didn't take it. Is it Kyle's fault? Yeah, I'm concerned about that too. Like, dude, you need to go for it. And I don't know whether he's like trying to prove to Kyle that he can play quarterback conventionally or Kyle's telling him he needs to, but it's counterproductive. And I really liked on the 2-point conversion when he ran for it. It's like, dude, oh yeah, I can run for the score. That's what I'm going to do. And he did it. So I don't know. I think what's happening is he's just super inexperienced at everything. Pocket passing, he hasn't played very much. So I think you're kind of seeing like he understands football in theory, but then when it's time to scramble, that's new to him. Scrambling is new to him. Improvising is new to him. I think that's what we're seeing. Robert says, how hard is it for a quarterback to develop touch and fix spiral issues? Also, one positive in all of this is Trey's fast knuckleball is hard to intercept. That's a good question. Vish, they want to know how hard is it for a quarterback to develop touch and fix spiral issues? I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't
I
be too
wish I
hard to
knew.
take a little
I
off
wish I
on
knew.
5 to 10 yard throws. It shouldn't be too hard, but it's a tough one. I don't know. I mean, the
You don't
ability to
think
throw
so?
the ball over defenders, the ability to throw the ball over linebackers, that might be a pretty tough skill to learn. But the ability to just take a little off on a straight pass with no one in between you and a guy running a slant, I feel like that's doable. I don't know. I never played the position. I played baseball.
Yeah, I don't know either. I didn't play. I played soccer.